Goldenflower is a sleek, pale ginger tabby she-cat with a nick in her ear and yellow eyes. She and her brother Lionheart were the first litter of Speckletail and Smallear. When they were apprenticed, she was given Dappletail as a mentor. Goldenpaw was nervous at her first gathering, but she was enthusiastic in training, so much so, in fact, that she didn't even care when Bluepaw accidentally scratched her ear. Speckletail was distressed at her daughter's new scar, but Goldenpaw liked the idea of having a battle scar. She and her brother later earned their warrior names. Goldenflower cared for her clanmates and was the first one to check on Ravenpaw after he announced Redtail's death and collapsed, and she also sat with Bluestar while her leader was very sick with green cough. Goldenflower had her first kit, Swiftpaw, and while she was in the nursery, her mother Speckletail also had a new kit, Goldenflower's younger brother, Snowkit. Around this time, Goldenflower's littermate Lionheart became the clan deputy, but sadly died when ShadowClan attacked the camp. Swiftpaw became an apprentice, and not long afterward, Goldenflower became mates with the clan's new deputy, Tigerclaw. It was just after she had his kits, Bramblekit and Tawnykit, that she was asked to care for two more newborns, Graystripe's kits, whose mother had died at their birth. She agreed. She quickly grew to love them, and was patient with Graystripe when he constantly hovered over her in the nursery. Eventually, RiverClan came to ask for the kits, and Graystripe decided to bring them there and stay with them. Goldenflower was sad to see the kits go. She soon had more to be concerned about. Rogues attacked the clan, and after the battle, Fireheart and Bluestar reported that Goldenflower's mate, Tigerclaw, had brought them there, with the intent to kill Bluestar during the fight and make himself leader. He had also already murdered the past clan deputy, Redtail, and had blamed the death on a RiverClan cat. Tigerclaw was exiled, and now Goldenflower had to face the judgment of the clan as they looked with distrust at her kits. Fireheart in particular was unsettled by just how much Bramblekit looked like Tigerclaw. Goldenflower decided that she wouldn't tell her kits who their father was, just that he was a brave and powerful warrior. She nearly lost her son when fire swept through the forest. Bramblekit had been following her as they left the camp, but was missing by the time the clan had gotten out of the ravine. Goldenflower was frantic, but Fireheart rescued the kit. Tigerstar became leader of ShadowClan, and Goldenflower began to hope that if he became a good leader, their kits would have something to be proud of, rather than being ashamed of their father's crimes. Unfortunately, this did not end up being the case. A pack of dogs got loose in the forest, and Tigerstar came up with a plan to eventually lead them to ThunderClan. The dog's first victim was none other than Goldenflower's oldest son, Swiftpaw. Jealous that Cloudtail had been made a warrior, Swiftpaw decided to go into the forest to figure out what was endangering the clan, and the dogs mauled him. Goldenflower grieved for her son. During this dark time, Bramblekit and Tawnykit were apprenticed. Tigerstar finally put his plan with the dogs into action, and while Fireheart announces to the clan, he noticed Goldenflower with her head down. It was clear that her kits would have to live with their father's dark legacy after all. ThunderClan took care of the dogs, but their leader, Bluestar, died while doing so. As deputy, Fireheart was set to be the next leader, and Darkstripe questioned whether they should follow a kitty pet. Goldenflower was the first cat to speak in Fireheart's defense, much to Fireheart's surprise. One day, Tawnypaw went missing. Goldenflower was worried about her daughter, and when the patrol stopped looking due to the weather, she accused Firestar of not trusting Tawnypaw and not caring about her safety. It turned out that Tawnypaw had gone to ShadowClan to be with her father since she hated how the ThunderClan cats treated her. Although Goldenflower must have been saddened to be parted from her daughter, she would also likely have been relieved to know that she was safe and in a place where she felt like she belonged. Goldenflower returned to her warrior duties after Bramblepaw and Tawnypaw were apprenticed, and fought in the battle against BloodClan. Later on, as she grew older and began to slow down, she retired, but still helped the queens in the nursery, and she was determined to fight for her clan if needed, including when BloodClan returned. Her two living kits, Brambleclaw and Tawnypelt, went missing around this time. Although we didn't get to see how Goldenflower reacted to this, she must have been constantly worried about them. They returned with the message that the clans would need to leave their home. And the clans believed them, since by that point, Two Legs had already begun to destroy the forest, causing prey to grow scarce. Goldenflower made the long and difficult journey with the clans to their new home by a lake. She served as Longtail's eyes when they arrived in the hollow that would become their camp, and she reassured Brambleclaw when the clan didn't seem as immediately enthusiastic about it as he hoped. Once again, she fought when her clan needed her. Badgers attacked the camp, and one of them tried to go after the elders, but the three of them, Goldenflower, Mousefur, and Longtail, drove it away. As far as we know, the rest of her retirement was peaceful, and she went to StarClan a few moons after her son Brambleclaw became the clan deputy. She still had one more part left to play. When Brambleclaw became leader, Goldenflower was there to give him one of his 9 lives. Her life came with the gift of a mother's love, and she acknowledged that he already knew what it felt like since he had been a father to Lionblaze, Hollyleaf, and Jayfeather. Goldenflower lived a long life in service to her clan. She had to face adversity when her mate was revealed to be a traitor, but she was a loyal warrior and a good, fierce mother.